Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to celebrate that it's WONHO's birthday, so we are going to dedicate this reading for him. So yes, it's really interesting actually. I came across a lot of fans, and I'm really excited about this. The group and also the relationship that they have with WONHO. I think that I learned a lot about, authenticity, and also how you, even though you can be famous, you still have the right to choose your friends and to choose who you want to remain close to. And when there's willpower, and when you care for someone, you make the time to see that person, and I think that this is the relationship that the group has with WONHO, even though he's no longer part of the group. So it's really nice to see that. I think that it's not only because they're famous. I think that we should all reflect on this, and how many times we ended the friendship because of distance, or because of we were going through different circumstances and different career paths, and actually they remain their friendship, and that's very inspiring. I think that we should connect with that feeling. It doesn't matter if you support the group or not. It's human behavior, and it's about being mindful and making your own choices and not letting other people decide for you. And this is not actually about to be edgy or who is more honest than who. It's more about you following your heart and not be a prisoner of other people's decisions. It's very nice. So let's see, WONHO, what he has available. Astrologically, we know that he's a Pisces. His moon, I believe, it's in Gemini. So yes, he's also this very mutable energy. Every time I see a Gemini with a Pisces moon, or a Pisces with a moon in Gemini, which in the K-pop industry there are a lot, actually, a lot of artists that do have this influence, and it gives them versatility. I think that it's very important for an artist to have these energies, because you can surprise your audience. Sometimes you can shock them, and actually they can get a bit confused, about, oh, like, you are not the person that I thought you knew, that I thought you were. Maybe some fans could freak out sometimes because of your sudden changes of moods, of interactions, of behavior, probably, people questioning a lot of things. Especially because, I think that this is a very important time of the year, because we are talking about Pisces season. So probably if I do pull a few cards for the future birthday people, you will realize that there's a pattern between these idols, and that is how complex and mysterious, and how sometimes how evasive they are, in the sense that you cannot pick on their energy and be like, oh yes, this person is like this, his personality is like this, he is always like this. No, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of movements. Being a Pisces person, it's something that it's very complex to put into words. It's an energy that seems to always be escaping your ability to come up with uh, the correct words to describe them. It seems like we are always like short in words, like because there's something about Pisces nature that it's very out of this world, and at the same time, this Pisces energy embraces us all. I think we all have a bit of Pisces in all of us, and I think that this is why sometimes these artists, or probably the Pisces people in general, especially the males, are a bit misunderstood, because they are not the typical masculine energy, and it's like, it seems like people want to put a label on them. You know, for example, if they are this give if they give off this feminine nature, or this sweet and cute nature, they are like, oh, maybe he has a sort of orientation, or he has a sort of preferences. And no, actually Pisces, of course they can, but what I'm saying is that you cannot define a Pisces male. They can be everything and nothing at the same time. So it's like, if you want to get to know them, if you want to get close to them, don't try to analyze a Pisces, you know, don't try to understand, you know, as if you were studying a subject. Connect with your intuition, connect with what they offer you, but don't take it too seriously, because you will get dizzy and you will get extremely confused and a bit annoyed, because they will always prove you wrong. They will always be out of your reach, out of your interpretation. They will always be the thing that you have no access to, or that you don't know enough about. So yes, they're lovely. I love it, and this is why I love astrology as well, because it allows you to connect with different representations of energy. It's not the same saying, oh, Pisces is a water sign, and that all water signs are the same. No, they have different intensities, and they have different traits at the same time, and it's more about connecting with the element, not so much describing it as if we were reading a book. So let's start with WONHO. He got the Fool card, the Knight of Cups in reversed. He got the Queen of Cups. He got the Chariot and the Seven of Pentacles. So yes, I think that if we start with the Fool, I think this is very Moon in Gemini as well, because the Fool also talks a bit about the Aquarius, the air element. You know, this is why the Fool is looking at the sky. You know, he's looking at how immense the possibilities are, and how the world is a huge place, and there's place for all of us, especially when we are looking, when we know where to look, when we dare to take to start anew, when we dare to make a new beginning for us, when we dare to transit a path that it's unknown to us, or that no one has transited before. I think this represents Wonho's energy very, very much, because he dared to do something that in the moment he thought he was right. You know, he wanted this new beginning. He wanted this. He wanted this for himself, you know, and I think that it's very, sometimes it's not easy to make these kind of decisions when you are part of a group. But like I always say, there's always one member, and I'm not just referring to Monster X. I think that if you have a favorite group, I think that if you were a bit observant, you would be able to guess that actually there's always one member that you would be like, this member would go solo. Or this member, if he had the chance, he would be the one that would be like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta do for me what I gotta do. You know, I think in all groups, there's this one distinctive member that, yes, he loves the members, yes, he loves the group, yes, he loves the fans, but inside of him, there's this desire of setting himself free. And probably they go through moments where they are like, okay, the group, it's not that the group doesn't represent them, it's more about that they need to connect with what represents them as individuals. They need to connect with their individuality. So I think that there's always this member, and this is why I think that you shouldn't take a member, I mean, we all know that there are different circumstances of why a member would leave a group. There's members that leave, and there are members that they are asked to leave, or they are forced to leave. But especially when there's one that wants to do something for their own means and connect with their individuality, I think we should applaud these artists because they are like showing us a different side of themselves. And it's not easy to get out of the group's dynamic. You know, it's a bold move. It's very bold move. And sometimes it doesn't come right. It doesn't, like, neither for the group nor for the soloist or future soloist. You know, it's a bold move. So, you know, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of meditation. It's a bit of a shock for the group, for the fans. You know, it's a whole roller coaster, you know. And if you stay by your group and if you support the members no matter what decision they do, and if you are still there for them, it's because you definitely have something special. So, you know, I think that for Wonho, this is a moment where he's really starting to see some things start to flourish for him. You know, we have the Knight of Cups in reversed. So I think that probably when this year started, like a month ago, probably he felt like he wasn't deserving of love. You know, that he wasn't deserving, that, you know, what he had idealized at the beginning, especially with becoming a soloist, that sometimes he felt like this was like sort of like a very wild dream, or that probably he was too ambitious, or that other people saw him as the fool. You know, the fool card represents someone that is very naive, or at least in the eyes of others is considered like naive. You know, like, oh, like, what you're doing, you're going to fall off the cliff if you continue to not look ahead. You know, look ahead, like, look at what you're doing. And actually, the full energy invites us to be brave, you know. And sometimes you don't have to have everything figured out. You know, you will figure it out in the process while you are transiting the path. So I think that there were moments where actually he felt like he wasn't going to make it, or that he felt like he was a sort of a fool as well. But then now we have the Queen of Cups, so he's slowly like getting in touch with his emotional side. Probably the fans and people around him are supporting him so much and are nurturing him with so much love and acceptance, and with a love that is so unconditional, that he feels like, okay, I can connect with love again. I can feel like I'm doing what I love, and that there's nothing wrong with wanting something different. So definitely there's this sense of like, I really can connect with love right now, and I have a strong system of support, especially emotional support. You know, for him it's very important to have, you know, support and emotional support. It's very important. Then we have the Chariot, and we have the Chariot, you know, it's all about moving on. So he will definitely have a very busy year. You know, he will have a year where he will be able to continue working. You know, you will probably see him a lot. You will see him like investing himself in a lot of. It seems like this year he's going to be very motivated to keep going. He's not going to settle just like, oh yes, I had a great comeback and that's it, you know. Probably he's going to move to bigger projects, and he's going to aim higher. And I think that he's going to also start to embrace a bit more of a stability. You know, I think that the other times that I read for Wonho, I think that I felt like his energy was a bit indecisive, you know, and that he wanted to do so much, but at the same time he lacked like stability. I didn't see much pentacles in his reading. I saw I saw a lot of ideas and visualization of what he wanted, but I didn't see much like a stable ground. And now I'm starting to see that he's aiming for this stability. That he wants to aim this stability. We have the Seven of Pentacles here, so he's slowly like crafting himself. He's slowly connecting with his craft. He's slowly working on details. He's slowly like connecting with being an apprentice again, or training on some aspects that he probably thought he knew, because I know he has the experience. I know that he had been working a lot through the years, but I think that he needs to like start a process of training all over again, because he's not in the same, what he's doing right now is not, it's not the same as what he used to do when he was part of the group. It seems like he needs to relearn or connect with knowledge from another perspective, especially because he is a soloist. So the pressure or the skills that you have to have available and that you have to master when you are a soloist are a lot, because you do rely on yourself only. So definitely he needs to network a lot. He needs to reach out to more trainers, to more coaches, to take different courses, probably learn different languages. He needs to expand what he already knows, and also give it a different, like, a different twist, like a different flavor to the knowledge that you have, because I think that he needs to build this foundation for his career. He's really excited. He's loving this. He's definitely like loving a lot, so what he does, so he's connecting with his resources. This year he's going to see the potential in him. He's going to start seeing the potential. He's going to start seeing what he's capable of making for by himself and on his own. And I think he has a lovely people around him. And I would say that actually the best people around him are females. And I know that this sounds funny, because of course that WONHO it's a guy that is very attractive, and that he has a lot of female fans, and that probably he has a few stalkers here and there. But I think that actually is the females around him, possibly, the staff members, makeup artists, or some female figures around him that are the one that actually treat him the better. I think that there's something with his connection with the females in his life, or with the females that he works with, that actually they give this touch of being very considerate to him. I don't know why, but I feel like he gets along better with females than with males. Males see him as a competence. Males see him as especially if we have to think about like a male manager, or males around him. They probably like don't like him that much, because I don't know why. They see him as this menace almost. And I'm not talking about Monster X members. I'm talking about a male in general. Maybe because he looks different, maybe because he is a very, like, he is someone that caught a lot of female attention. But I think that if he's surrounded by females that work with him, he's going to be better taken care of, because he's someone very emotional. So this is why he gets along better with females, because females are this very intuitive nature, so he connects better with them, because it seems like they look at him, or he looks at them, and he knows exactly they know what each other needs. So I think that in the case of Wonho, it's very necessary for him to keep interacting with females, you know, because they support him, they are very loving towards him, they are very understanding, they understand his mood change, they are very like sweet, you know. So I think that he needs this, you know. He doesn't need people to judge him or to tell him what he did wrong. He needs sweet people, loving people around him. So yes, I think that this is great. And also I think that he's also like at the beginning probably he was a bit shy with having like a lot of female attention, but he's now getting comfortable with being the center of attention, you know. Probably, I don't know why, but I don't know if maybe this is something that happened with Monster X at the same time, of people uh, considering them like very different from what the other groups were offering. And I'm talking about this when it comes to looks or physique, you know, the body. Probably, you know, they would stare at them too much, or they would criticize their looks or their concept, you know. So I think that this is stuck with Wonho somehow. And I don't think that it has to do with the way he builds his body. I think that it has to do with everything, you know, hairstyle. And I think that people were very criticizing of Monster X as well. So now that he's a soloist, he's like learning, he's like relearning, he's learning all over to embrace his own trademark, you know, his own abilities, and what makes him different. You know, this is why we start with the Fool here, because the Fool dares to be different, and he's not afraid and he's not ashamed anymore of being different, you know. And I think that this has to do with all the loving fans, you know, that they are this sort of, these are this source of, you know, like letting him know that they love him, that yes, they love his body and his body is amazing, but that they also love him for who he is inside. So he feels like at first he was a bit shy, you know. Oh, like they see through me, you know, they can see that I'm much more than a body. And now he's like comfortable, you know, he's like in this flirting kind of mode. He's like, okay, I'm comfortable because I know that you are not only looking at my body, you are looking through me. You are connecting with me, you are connecting with my art, you are connecting with what I represent. And I love that my fans can see through me, that they can see what else is behind all the appearances, that I am much more than just a body, you know. And I think that this is something that he's like, this is why I need to be better, this is why I need to keep working, this is why I need to improve, so they can stay with me for a very long time. So this is very beautiful. It's very emotional, actually, guys. I can feel that he really feels grateful for the people that are with him. I know that he probably went through a lot, but he really feels touched. You know, he really feels touched. He really feels the love. So this is amazing. So I congratulate the fans for being able to create this sort of like synastry with him, you know, so he can like get strength for your love and support. So yes, guys, this is all I have for him. So happy birthday, Wonho. This is going to be a great year for him. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.